Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. It's your host, Kaylee here, and you are tuning in to episode number 256. Hey, before I kick off today, I want to remind you that we have opened registration for our upcoming leadership sprint called Spark. I will be teaching live for 5 consecutive days, revealing the power pillars to building a life-first, freedom-based business. I'll share more on this later, but I wanted to make sure that you save the dates for March 17th through 21st. I'm going to be live at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can head to klcconsultants.com/spark to get registered and to access our high performance leadership playbook and audit. Plus, I will be sending you a 20-page workbook that will act as your resource guide to workshop through during the sprint. And in this sprint, we will be building your customized action plan for the next 90 days. So make sure you head over to the link. I'll link it up in the show notes as well. Or you can send me a DM on Instagram, just type Spark, and I will get you all of the info that you need to register for free. Okay, so last week, I talked with you about KLC's Life First business model, a framework that measures more than just financial success, but also the success of its founder via wealth, health, impact, and freedom. And I talk with so many women who have almost surprising success, or like success by accident, as we like to playfully refer to it at KLC. Or women who set out on their financial success journey and somehow find themselves lost, like their business has taken a subtle 1-degree turn away from what they envisioned for themselves when they started it. And they really don't know how they ended up there. And isn't this life? Like when you step on the scale and you've suddenly gained 5 pounds, but you didn't notice it until your pants didn't quite stretch the same. You know, this is usually when a business owner calls me. The business is somehow growing a life of its own, and the founder isn't sure which steps to take next to tame it. And so she steps in and does what she knows best. Just jump in and handle it. And I see this happen so often in business. Stretch the leash a little, before you know it, it starts completely unraveling. And then it becomes this constant yo-yo game of stepping back and then swooping back in to micromanage the aftermath. And what founders end up doing is creating an experience where they never really trust their team members enough to let go of control and level up. And so they stay stuck doing everything and working like a dog to pay for their employees. And that's where then resentment starts to creep in, and the feeling that team members are entitled or not pulling their weight. But we're not exactly sure how to show them how to pull their weight because we have the whole sled on our own shoulders. Makes perfect sense, right? So leader, if building and scaling a self-led company were that simple, like if it were a black and white math equation, I wouldn't be recording a podcast about it. I would simply ask AI to build me a checklist and we'd be done with it. If you want more freedom in your business, you're going to have to break the cycle of being the point person on everything in your company and start empowering others with the knowledge, the resources, and with clarity on what success looks like in their roles. Every hour you are swooping in to do their job is another hour you are not building a self-led team and company. So how does one build a self-led team? Is this not the $1 million question? What do you think my answer is going to be? Yep, you guessed it. Freedom in your business always comes back to showing up as a well-directioned leader. Become a curator of a team, not an employee inside of your business. Definitely not an overworked employee at that. This kind of leadership is about letting go of control. Okay, I can hear your heart beating in my ear right now. Take a deep breath. Yes, this is uncomfortable work. This is the critical push me out of my comfort zone work that will take your business from 7 to 8 figures. And if you are a practice manager or operations manager of your company, guess what? You're going to need to learn this skill for yourself, mentor your team, and train your business owner on how letting go of control will allow for rich cultivation of skills, passion, and creativity within the business. When I talk about letting go of control, most business owners immediately fear a drop in productivity, a decline in client experience, or a disruption of workflows or outcomes. So if this is you, you're not alone. But I'll also emphasize that if the experience a customer receives in your business is in any way diminished when you step out, you have some real work to do. Your team should be crystal clear on the standards of excellence and expectations of them in your company. And if you have the right people, passionate entrepreneurs, they will hold themselves to your high standards, not avoid or complain about them. So instead of shaming yourself for having high standards, get excited about that. Remind yourself, like similar to Harvard or MIT, they don't allow just anyone admission into their world-class education system because they have high standards. You have created an environment where you get to determine and uphold those standards for your business. I mean, wouldn't you be honored if you were accepted into Harvard? Of course you would, because it symbolizes your ability to operate at a level of excellence that most can't compete with. Now, don't you think self-led, driven employees want to work for a company who demands excellence from their employees? You bet your ass they do. Freedom comes when you make a powerful mindset shift about who you are for your company. Are you willing to experience the discomfort of letting your employees fail? Because failure is actually the most positive learning experience there is. It provides the information and redirect that no other kind of information can give us. Last year, my company, we had an email exchange with an expo company who was building our booth at a conference, and we wired them $8,000 over email, only to find that there was a scammer on the other end of our payment. You think any team member in my company will ever send money without a phone conversation again? It was an expensive lesson, but a valuable one to learn. And the reality is in 2 or 5 years, the magnitude of that lesson would be so much greater. I mean, maybe that payment would be $80,000. So my point is that the hard lessons are our teachers, and we can't expect any human being not to make mistakes. So if you want freedom, you're going to have to increase your tolerance for failure. You're going to need to create psychological safety for your team members to see failure as a part of growth. If you continue to swoop in and prevent failure, you will bottleneck growth. So here's the reframe. Instead of saying to yourself, oh, I need to fix this, what if you said to yourself, I need to give my team the tools that they need to fix this problem? You need to stop trying to have all the answers figured out ahead of time and just move. Get better at creating systems that allow our team members the agency to make independent decisions. So one example of this might be allowing your front desk a $150 budget to remedy a situation with a customer. That might look like offering a value add, a product, a discount. You outline the budget, but they get to creatively think how they could use that to provide a white glove experience for their customers. Notice I said their customers. I read a saying the other day that said, quote, your old identity built the business, but your new identity must lead it, unquote. I thought this was a beautiful reinforcement of my point that growing requires letting go. The life that you're truly meant for won't come by forcing things into place. It comes when you let go of control and allow it, trust what is trying to unfold. So how can you show up with a sense of clarity and confidence in your business? Well, that's what I'm going to be teaching in our Spark Sprint. I'm going to help you build the vision for a life-first business through a 5-step process. S, strategy, where you'll define your vision and a roadmap for growth. P, people, build and inspire a high-performing team. A, alignment. That's where you ensure every aspect of your business is working in harmony with your life goals. Results, track measurable outcomes to scale your success. And then finally, K is knowledge. Equip yourself with the tools and insights to lead confidently. Spark. During these 5 days, I'm going to bring high energy, strategy, guest experts, and my personal proven blueprint to empower you to build a life-first business. A business that transcends traditional disjointed tactics, but instead allows you to cultivate deep fulfillment, expansive personal growth, and the freedom to truly savor life. Let's ignite your spark through strategic vision casting, building a high-performing team, ensuring alignment in all aspects of your business and life, and setting up your blueprint to catapult in the next 90 days. I truly want to encourage you to define what success looks like beyond revenue, but also cultivate the habits and the boundaries necessary to thrive within that vision without burning out. So come to transform your business into a cash-generating powerhouse that nourishes your wealth, health, impact, and freedom on your own terms. It's time to lead with intention and design the fulfilling life and business you've always envisioned. If you want more freedom in your business, then come join me next week. All right, leader, thanks so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you same place, same time next week.
Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight, because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling, and part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working to cross the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, goddess.